Hello, what's going on? Just hanging out with the puppy. Say hi, I'm a puppy. Hi. I thought I would just do a little tale here. Um, so I posted some videos from the sailing trip in New Zealand a couple, 3, 4 weeks ago now. So we took out my boyfriend's sailboat, which is like a 32-foot townsman. Anyway, people who know sailboats know what it is. And we went from Marsden Point up to Russell. So it was going to be a 3-day trip. I won't do the whole trip. But there was a little bit of an event on day one. And before we set sail, there was a black cat that crossed our road. I'm just going to say that. So anyone who sails knows the old superstitions. Trips have been called off for that reason. But anyway, we went anyway. We went the next morning. And I haven't been sailing in a while. I'm a very novice sailor. Mike is a very experienced sailor, and I think sometimes he forgets that I don't really know what I'm doing almost always. So when you come out of Marsden Point Marina, you have to sort of like go out, this whole channel thing, then you're sort of in an open area, then you turn a corner, and there is a channel. It was the outgoing tide, and we probably should have left about 40 minutes earlier, but anyway. So the tide was going out quite quickly, and obviously you're meant to sail through the channel where it's deep. But there was some issue in the cabin, which was like not really an emergency issue, but I was just like, oh, there's this issue with whatever. And Mike's like, okay, I'll go like take a look, just like keep going to that direction, which I thought he meant continue going in the direction that he pointed. But what I didn't realize what he meant was to go the opposite direction into the channel, which eventually leads to that direction. There's a slight difference there. So as I kept going, it seemed all fine. The sail was up, the wind was like going and changing, and I was trying to like keep an eye on all that. And then just sort of seemed like everything was fine. All of a sudden we're grounded because obviously I went too far into the shallow area because I was no longer in the channel. I didn't even know there was a channel. Anyway, and so we're grounded, meaning the bottom of the boat, which is like a V shape, the very tip part, is touching the sand. Thank God it was sand and not rock. And is just fully stuck there. And because the tide is going out, it's just getting shallower and shallower with every minute that passes. So we tried to go with the engine to get out. We tried to like, I don't know what we were doing and what we were meant to be doing. And then this great big fishing boat comes up. 2-engine, massive thing. I'm thinking, oh, okay, this will be good. But the guys in the boat were sort of like, oh, what's going on? I don't know. In the meantime, we had called the Coast Guard. We're like, this is the situation. They were basically like, well, the tide comes in at 5 p.m. It's like 9 in the morning. So they're like, yeah, when the tide comes back in, maybe it'll just like float you up. It's like, are you not going to come out and help? Because also the tide was going very quickly, and like the shallower it gets, the more the boat's just gonna like tip over. And anyway, so they weren't very helpful. And then yeah, this fishing boat shows up, and Mike's trying to tell them to like, they're like, oh, can we help? Do you want us to help you tow you? And he's trying to tell them, you need to like pull the boat sideways so that then the bottom sticking out part is now like this, meaning it's shallower. But the guys were like, no, we're just gonna pull you straight out. But it's like, you're just gonna pull us into more sand. So anyway, I didn't really understand what the plan was and why it wasn't working, and the whole confusing like conversation that was happening. It was all just like, and so we were going nowhere with that, and then this little boat shows up, tiny little thing, inflatable, tiny little engine. Like, I don't know what you're gonna do, but he puts his line, and he knows exactly what Mike's talking about, trying to get it sideways. So we go all the way sideways. The side of the boat is literally like at the surface of the water level, and then he puts his sail up because the wind was going, thank God, and it pushed us a bit, and then we got out, back into the channel, and onto our trip. That's the story.